What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this week I wanted you guys to do a little exercise, and it's one of my favorite things because it's so simple but it's so profound as well, because I want you to see the effects that our focus and our attention can have on our thoughts. When I first heard about this, I was reading Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now, which is a brilliant book, and I recommend anybody in a personal development space to have a read. And he mentioned this little exercise I'm going to tell you now. And for somebody who has a busy mind, who overthinks, who has anxiety, it's quite eye-opening actually. It just gave me a new perspective on how thoughts work, and yeah, I feel like it was quite instrumental actually in me overcoming a lot of my things. So before we do that, if you're interested in personal development and mental health, I post videos every single Wednesday on this channel. It'd mean a lot to me if you could subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. And it would be great to have you on this journey with me. So let's get into the exercise. So I want you to pause the video, and this is only literally going to take a couple of seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Pause the video, close your eyes, and then ask yourself, what am I going to think about next? And bring your attention and your focus into that moment, into that present space. Really focus on that question and wait for the answer. So I can guarantee that when you ask yourself that question, when you brought your focus in on something, I can guarantee you that thoughts didn't come in as quickly as you thought they would. When you brought your focus into that present moment, it's like a switch went off in your brain. It's like thoughts just didn't come to you as quick as they usually would. But I can guarantee also that the moment that you took your attention away from that question, thoughts came back in. So there's a lesson that we can learn there, a really, really important lesson. And that lesson is that we have an ability to decrease the mental chatter that we have in our minds by bringing our focus into the present moment. For somebody who might suffer with anxiety or depressive thoughts or ruminating or overthinking, the ability or the knowledge that you can decrease that activity in your brain is huge. So what happens is, when you focus in on something, what would have happened is that this brain area called the default mode network was switched off. Because basically that brain area has a lot to do with our mind wandering. So those thoughts you were having when your mind's wandering and there's a bunch of random stuff going on in your head, that's where those thoughts are coming from. Or at least there's a lot of research that supports that. So this is really, really valuable information. Now, how can you actually implement it into your daily life? Well, you just want to stay present. What you were doing when you were asking yourself that question then was that you were becoming totally present. You were in on that moment, you were waiting for an answer. Well, we just want to do that all the time, as much as we can. That's been the biggest thing for me, is staying present, not getting caught up in my head. Because when you get caught up in your head, you get caught up in those stories which are coming from that part of your brain. And meditation is the way that you can do that. It's a daily practice of staying present for 10-15 minutes. And even though you're only doing it for a short amount of time, the effects of that can bleed into your daily life. So you'll stay more present when you're not meditating. And what happens then, to take it one step further, when you get distance from those thoughts, is they don't bother you as much when they come up. If I'm being bogged down by thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and negative thoughts all the time, it's really hard to not give in to those thoughts. But if I'm giving myself space, when they do pop up, I could be like, oh, okay, there's a thought there. It doesn't really bother me. That's why people with ADHD can be really distracted, because that part of their brain is hyperactive. So they're just constantly churning thoughts in their head, so it's easy for them to get caught up in them. So it's even more important for them to try and practice staying present, to decrease that activity. So there is a lot of information there. I think it's so important, like just that knowledge of knowing that, oh, that's where those sorts of thoughts come from, and I have some control over when they show up. And they have shown through research that people who meditate have less activity in that area of their brain. And they've shown through that, because there's less activity and there's less mind wandering, that their symptoms of anxiety and depression are relieved as well. And if you don't like meditating, that's completely fine. You don't have to meditate. If you've ever heard of flow states are these states which you get into when you're completely immersed in the present moment. It's what I get into when I write. It's what people get into when they're gaming. It's what you can get into when you're exercising. And when you are immersed in those tasks, guess what's happening? You're totally present. And that's why flow states are really important for your mental health. It's having those moments in your day when you can do something that is productive, that you enjoy, that gives you a break from your head. Because I think like the worst thing we can do with mental health problems is allow those thoughts to bog us down. If I sat there and just went over all these thoughts and let my mind wander, like, I'll just get weighed down by it all. I'll start to feel shit. And that's what I used to do. I don't do it anymore. So a lot to take in there, but it's just the importance of that one exercise that is so simple, but shows you the possibilities. You don't have to be caught up in your thoughts all the time. And you can work on decreasing those sorts of thoughts too and staying present. So that's why I'll leave it today, guys. I hope you're all having a great week. Thank you so much for the continued support. Like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I'll post the link to my blog down below, all the references to the stuff. I'll put the link to The Power of Now in the bio as well. Highly recommend that. And yeah, I hope to see you again here next week. And I've just cooked some amazing rice and I'm gonna eat it now. I'll see you later.